Welcome back to the channel. First episode of the Wednesday vlogs. Got a cold and wet day here in Austin, so I figured it'd be a good time to hop in the garage, show you a little bit about my controlled chaos situation that I've got here in the back behind my reef tank. I assume that everybody's garage looks like this in one way or another. I mean, do you even aquarium if it doesn't? If you don't have all these cords and plugs and shelves with aquascaping materials, extra tanks, all sorts of stuff. I try to stay as organized as I can. To be perfectly honest, it doesn't always look this way. Say hi to my dog. That's Ivy. She's a German Shepherd Husky. Sit. Ivy, sit. She's a good girl. Thank you. Okay. Anyway, yeah, kind of just want to show you guys some of the equipment that I've got back here. This is definitely something that I'm going to add into my project series, where I'm going to go through all this, do some more cord organization, build some power supply boxes, organize my dosing pumps. I think I'm going to keep the brute trash can situation. Definitely have kind of gotten used to that. This side I've got 32-gallon brute that I mix my salt water. And this side I have a 32-gallon brute that I fill for RODI for my auto fill. It's my auto top off reservoir. Got this old MP10 that I use to mix salt water with. I'm sure you can hear it. That's why I moved it out here instead of keeping it on my tank. Obviously couldn't deal with that sound, but it works really, really well to keep all the water mixing inside there. Stirs up the salt water pretty quickly. I've also got a small lift pump inside there that I can use to circulate the water through this filter sock, just to filter out any particulate. I mean, all these salt mixes are never as pure as they say, so that helps keep it, you know, nice and clean. I'll usually do that for an hour after I kind of finally get it fully mixed and dissolved. That same lift utility pump has a T on it that runs up this line right here through the wall into my tank. So whenever I'm ready, I can just change that valve over. I've got that pump connected to a Wi-Fi plug, and I can turn that on from the other side, watch the tank fill, turn it off without having to come back here and, you know, fiddle with the valves and the plug. So that makes that really easy. Got a little bit of RO going into the salt water right now. I was just checking my salinity and it was just a little bit high, so we'll test it again, see where it's at, trying to balance that out a little bit. Yeah, so still a little bit high. I'm also warming that back up. Like I said, it's a cold day here in Austin right now, so anything out in the garage is going to be a little chilly too. But I'll check the salinity, and then I will test the alkalinity as well to make sure it matches my tank. If you let most salt mixes sit for a while, the alkalinity tends to precipitate a little bit. Some worse than others. Generally though, if it's sitting and not mixing, the added heat from the pump or anything like that won't cause much precipitation. So I'll check that, make sure it's not too off. If it is, I've got Red Sea Foundation B. I use that to supplement alkalinity back into my fresh new salt water to match the tank. Just to show you a few more things back here. Again, controlled chaos. Trying to get that all sorted out here pretty soon. Got my two MP10s. Got everything labeled as best I can. Return pumps, both Radion lights, protein skimmer, heater, auto top off. This one is a small utility pump that I use in the back chamber to mix up everything that comes through my dosing lines before it finally goes into the tank. Mix it up in the back chamber. This is the UV light, the 15 watt Aqua UV light. I've got my pH probe right here, and I don't have anything attached to this yet, but I've got the controller plugged for my pH probe. I was thinking about setting that up with my autofill and running Kalkwasser, but since I've got so much water to add in, I don't know. I'm still curious to see if that might be risky. I don't want it to overdose the tank with Kalkwasser. Obviously, that's what the pH probe and monitor is for. But as you can see, my pH stays relatively high. Usually can see it spike up to about 8.3 by the middle of the day. Never drops below 8.1, at least as far as I've been monitoring it. I dose alkalinity 5 or 6 times a day throughout the day, 24 hours. So it helps keep that pH boosted just a little bit. I also have a refugium Chaetomorpha that I run on the reverse light cycle. So I think that definitely helps too. I'll show you a couple things that are going on in the tank right now. About 2 months ago, there was an ice storm that came through Austin. My tank was without power for about 12 hours. Now, I did what I could to keep it warm and aerated. Had a little battery powered pump. Wasn't quite enough. Didn't lose any fish, but had some very unhappy corals after that. I think the temperature dropped down to maybe mid or low 60s. Anyway, I had this big bird's nest that's just been growing a lot of diatom algae. I actually think this is chrysophytes. I've had that pretty much everywhere else in the tank, but this actually looked a lot worse a few weeks ago, so it's starting to make a comeback. A lot of this is starting to kind of slough off the tops of the tips of the coral. Continue with water changes. It's definitely helping. But anyway, expecting a lot of this to start going away. Kind of potentially lost a blue stylophora here. Pretty big colony that I'm kind of sad to see go. Maybe frag some of those tips off and see if I can keep it going. But I had a few more corals, some colastria that were right here. Had to take those out. All these guys seem to be doing good. A couple of little new zoa colonies that I put in there. This Montipora here seems to be doing well, though it's kind of STNing there on the back because of the shadow, I believe. I was actually finally starting to encrust a little bit before the freeze. Yeah, everything else looks pretty good. This little guy right here needs to be re-glued, but yeah, overall I think the tank's looking pretty good right now. Kind of a low budget tank in terms of the corals, but trying to grow a lot of these out into big colonies and really fill the tank up. Kind of for a while, more interested in keeping the fish and then just growing some good healthy corals. Kind of have a philosophy that any tank will look good as long as everything's healthy. So kind of trying to stick to that. Show you guys some of the fish that I have. This is a biota yellow tang. I've had him for about 2 years. Kind of trying to figure out what's going on with his fins. Been feeding him really well. Eats algae, algae flakes, algae wafers, you know, everything like that. Giving him some vitamins, all that sort of stuff. Can't quite figure out how to keep that erosion from showing its face. All the other tangs look really good. Got a little purple tang. Think they know that I'm filming him. Yeah, little purple tang there. I've had him for about maybe 6 months. Another biota fish, the Coral Beauty. It's got an interesting story behind this fish. Whenever I got it in the mail, came in great. Put it into the tank. I had 2 yellowfin damsels that did not take kindly to the new addition. So she got pretty beat up. I actually found her on the overflow weirs right here, just hanging on. So I put her in a little breeder basket right here. Was able to bring her back to life, and as you can see now, she's doing really well. And you can also tell that there are no more yellowfin, yellowtail damsels. Good fish, colorful fish. Just put them in last is all I would have to say. Even still, they're pretty aggressive. On top of that, I got a marine collector's fish, a Tomini tang, flame fin tang that I got from Elliot at Marine Collectors. Fantastic fish. Haven't had any issues with this one whatsoever. Definitely worth the extra price. I've lost a lot of fish due to parasites and everything. Not too keen on quarantining. I've tried it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm willing to fork up that little extra price to get a healthy fish and not have to worry about it. Got 2 naked clownfish. Working on spawning, I think. It's hard to tell which one is the male, which one's the female. They're both about the same size right now. Great fish though. Get along with everybody. Got this mystery wrasse. Again, I can tell that these fish know that I'm recording them. Nice mystery wrasse. That fish has been in here for about 6 months. My favorite fish, of course, is my yellow watchman goby. One of the few fish in the tank that has a name. This guy's name is Goji, and he runs the tank, to say the least. He's got his pistol shrimp. Got a little cave. Not sure where the shrimp's at right now. Waiting on Goji to bring home some tasty morsels. But yeah, great fish. Love the personality on those. That's all the fish that I have right now. Looking to add some more. Definitely looking at maybe some more marine collector's fish. But really, the key for me is having this UV sterilizer. I think without that, any parasite or anything like that can show its face, kind of make it a hit or miss situation with the fish. So, once I got that on there, I don't think I'd ever look back on taking that out. Forgot about this little guy, little tail spot bunny. Not to say that he's easy to forget about, but he is really small, gets lost in the tank. I've had him for maybe about a year. He was real small when I first got him. And yeah, everybody, they all know that I'm filming him. I think that's funny. Alright, so I just tested my salinity again. 1.026. Perfect. That's what I always aim for. So we will now check the alkalinity, and hoping somewhere right around 9, 8.5, 9. So check my alkalinity. A little bit lower than I would have liked, 7.7. I've had this water mixed for maybe a little over a week. So yep, definitely gonna have to add some alkalinity buffer back to that. I'll test it again, then we'll do the water change. Okay, so check the alkalinity again. Everything's good to go. So we are going to do the water change. I'm gonna show you guys. So easy. I can do it one-handed while filming. Got all my valves and everything turned already. Set up this easy siphon. Get my phone out. Use my GoSund app for these Wi-Fi pumps. You can find all these on my Amazon storefront, linked in my Instagram bio at aficionado, but I'll also put links to all this in the description of this video. So turn off return pumps, Vortec pumps off. I'll put my skimmer on a 10-minute delay so it's off. Get the siphon going. Almost forgot that I like to use these 5-gallon totes to measure out 5 gallons exactly. Ivy likes to help with this part. Don't worry about how that water started going down. It's just magically started. I sucked on the hose. Anyway, we'll let that siphon out 5 gallons. I'll spare. Okay, so my 5-gallon tote is just about full. I'll pull out siphon hose. Just throw that back in the bucket. Don't like any water spilling. Pull my phone back out and we'll turn on the water change pump. Turn that on. Now I've got water coming back into the tank. Wait a few minutes for this to refill and then we'll turn our pumps back on. So we're just about full. I'll turn off the water change pump and I'll turn on the return pumps. And I think this is probably my favorite part about having these Wi-Fi plugs is that I can turn the return pumps on and then watch my back chamber here as the water drops down. If I notice that it's not filling up, if I haven't filled it up enough and my autofill cuts on, what I'll do is just turn my water change pump back on, add enough water to stop that autofill pump from turning on, and then I'll know I've added just exactly the amount of water that I need. Yeah, I think that makes that a heck of a lot easier than guessing or running back and forth between my garage and the front here to see how much water I've added. So adding a little bit extra, turn off that water change pump, and then now I know I've added exactly the amount of water that I took out. So yeah, that's it for the water change. I'll turn my circulation pumps, my vortex back on, and that's it. Turn these back on, come on both at the same time. Make sure there's no errors, which don't know why they do that, but sorted itself out this time. Looks like they're both running. And that's about as easy as it gets for a water change, I think. I can do more than 5 gallons if I wanted to do up to 20, 25 gallons. As much as that brute trash can will hold 32 gallons, I could do it the same way. I tend to do more regular, smaller water changes as opposed to less frequent, larger water changes. Kind of helps everything stay a little bit more stable. Couldn't be easier than that. Like I said, I've got some of those products in my Amazon storefront. I'll link that down in the description of this video. You can find a lot of it on my Instagram as well, @aficionado. That's also tagged at the beginning of the video. All right guys, that's it for the first installment of the Wednesday vlogs. Hope you guys liked the video. We'll see how these go. We'll continue to evolve. I'll change things up a little bit, but generally speaking, Wednesday vlog videos, Sunday project edit videos. So yeah, thanks for watching you guys. Remember to like and subscribe. Leave any comments, anything like that. Any questions you have down below. Thanks.